we're seeing who the best fighter in the world is, and we're getting people to watch so that the fans can appreciate something that I find to be the most loved thing in my life, next to my wife, you know? So, I don't know. I think it's a shame when that shit happens, especially when it's like an ego thing. But also at the same time, I don't really think that that's too much of what Jon Jones is doing. I'm more speaking in terms of what I kind of see in other people. I think...
Why is that fight not happening?
Well, it could be for two reasons. It's either that Jon Jones is using a strategy to have more money.
You can say it, GSP. Go for it. Come on, say what you want to say.
But I think that's why he's doing it. You know, if he's doing it just to hold the title, to serve the wave, this is not.
Joe Rogan just dropped a bombshell. Jon Jones is demanding a staggering $110 million to fight Tom Aspinall at the White House next year. What started as a wild rumor is now gaining serious traction, sparking both excitement and backlash across the MMA world. Jones, who announced his retirement just a month after UFC 303, seems to be setting the stage for a dramatic return, but on his own terms. And those terms? They're stirring up major controversy. The UFC has seen chaos before, but this move is truly next level.
Looks like Jon Jones finally wants to fight Tom Aspinall, but this time at the White House. I told you guys that Jon Jones was playing chess, not checkers, this entire time. Someone just tweeted this at Jon Jones saying, ducking Tom Aspinall, ? Best decision you ever made, ? Jon responded, choosing when to attack and where you want the battlefield to be is not ducking, my friend. I tried telling every single one of you that Jon Jones was never ducking Tom Aspinall. It's very clear here that Jon Jones is playing chess.
The $110 million demand from Jon Jones has become the most polarizing headline in MMA this year. While some view it as a power move worthy of a legend, others see it as a manipulative stunt. Among the critics is Jones's longtime rival Daniel Cormier, who called him out on his 3 Rounds podcast. "I figured he was trolling," Cormier said. "I thought he was just messing with the fans, knowing how badly they want to see him fight Tom Aspinall." Cormier expressed frustration with Jones's vague posturing, adding, "Why are you playing with people's emotions?" For Cormier, Rogan, and much of the MMA community, this situation goes beyond money. It's about the integrity of the sport, respect for its fans, and fairness to the fighters waiting for resolution in the heavyweight division. Jones's tactics may draw headlines, but they're also drawing heat from voices demanding clarity and accountability.
Think of the star Aspinall would have been if we just would have got that fight over with right away. Think of the star Ngannou still would have been for this company if you just would have had that fight and moved it on. And then you have an epic rivalry between those two, Aspinall and Ngannou. Like the years and years of amazing heavyweight fights could have been happening if Jon Jones just wasn't a petulant child, and if the UFC wasn't just the, oh no, it's fine, he's just finding himself, like just so annoying. And
but what did you make of it when you heard Jon calling out Alex of all people?
You know, I think he does do this because, you know, Alex Perez now he's like big star in the UFC, you know, everybody loves him, so he knows what he's doing, you know, but I believe he should to fight against Aspinall, but I think he a little bit afraid of him, you know, because Aspinall is someone who can really stop him and beat him.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's what I think that he...
And say, no, you're not going to take this. And do you know what Jon Jones did? You have it. I don't want to fight. You can have it. This is unbelievable. The greatest of all time. What a load of shit. I'm sorry. Never going to call that him the GOAT. Ever again. Because being the greatest of all time is not just about winning. And that's what Jon Jones doesn't understand. It's about how you conduct yourself throughout the whole of your career. Are you willing to fight the biggest challenges?
You know, I was absolutely confident that Jones versus Aspinall was done and we were going to do it. And here we are today, you know, so you never know. I don't get into it until it actually happens.
Is there a fight that you, like almost made that didn't happen?
Aspinall Jones.
The
fight was done. Everybody had agreed to it. Everybody agreed to the whatever, and then Jones came back and said, "I'm going to retire."
Jon Jones fan is anybody, and I've always defended he's not afraid of Tom. He's willing to fight anybody. It's hard to not fall into that narrative here, though. You know, like to me, like fighting in the White House, like that doesn't do it. But maybe I'm a different person. You know, maybe everybody looks at it different. For me, like if you tell me they're gonna have a fight at the White House, like cool, all right, like it'd be cool to do it. If not, whatever. Like a fight's a fight. Maybe Jon looks at it different.
Star Aspinall would have been if we just would have got that fight over with right away. Think of the star Ngannou still would have been for this company if you just would have had that fight and moved it on. And then you have an epic rivalry between those two, Aspinall and Ngannou. Like the years and years of amazing heavyweight fights could have been happening if Jon Jones just wasn't a petulant child, and if the UFC wasn't just the, oh no, it's fine, he's just finding himself. Like, just so annoying. And so...
You're a sprinter, you take PEDs, you become faster than people who are not taking PEDs, and you win a race, that's okay. You're a cheat, you've won, they'll take your title off you or whatever, that's fine. If your job is to hurt another person, physically hurt another person, which could potentially redirect the rest of their life post-fighting, you're an absolute piece of shit, and you should never be able to fight again if you have any PEDs.
It's the legacy. To be able to go to the heavyweight division, take out everyone, and then take out the Jon Jones legend, you know, and then go back to even beating a few of these new school guys, will literally put Tom Aspinall as the GOAT of the heavyweight division.
He's like the longest running heavyweight champion in the history of the UFC, isn't he? But he's only like he hasn't fought anyone. I don't think it's gonna happen. You know, I think Jon gets a lot of money for being champion. I think the sponsors and that are paying him a fortune, and I think he's just dragging along, keeping the belt as long as possible because it's worth that much money to him. I mean, Jon's often struggled with tall people who are good boxers. I imagine he'd probably, if he did fight him, he would...
I'll just come out and ask you, do you think he's ducking Tom Aspinall?
No. Jon Jones, I said it a million times, I'll say it again, he's never ducked anybody other than that one goofy time with the Chael Sonnen thing. He's never ducked anybody, and you know, I think the reality is whatever changed his mind with this fight, I don't know, you'd have to ask him that, but you know, he's 38 years old, and I don't know.
Do you think if it was someone like Alex Pereira, he would fight them? And it's maybe Tom that he specifically like doesn't fancy the matchup?
And say, no, you're not going to take this. And do you know what Jon Jones did? You have it. I don't want to fight. You can have it. This is unbelievable. The greatest of all time. What a load of shit. I'm sorry. Never going to call that him the GOAT ever again. Because being the greatest of all time is not just about winning. And that's what Jon Jones doesn't understand. It's about how you conduct yourself throughout the whole of your career. Are you willing to fight the biggest challenges, the biggest tests? Go in there and test yourself.
How do you think that would have gone, Aspinall, Jon Jones? Prime versus prime.
Prime, I'll go Jon Jones.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
100%. You won't even give Tom a go at the prime?
No. Like I said, I rate Jon Jones highly. I believe that he's the best to ever do it. And Tom is a, for now, he's the guy now, you know what I mean?
But if they would have fought, then do you think that Tom had a strong chance because of the timing?
Yeah.
And fighting's always about timing. Boxing.
100%.
UFC White House is crazy, dude. How's that even a thing? Is that allowed? Like, how is Donald even allowed to do that? It'd be kind of gangster, though. Chandler versus McGregor. It'd be kind of gangster. Aspinall, Jon Jones wants to fight on it. Classic. Back in the testing pool after 2 weeks. Bro is a troll and a half. He's not having his title back. That just can't be happening. All the ground trip would be sick.
I haven't moved up for this triple champ thing. Jon Jones, who took a few years but made good on his promise that he was moving to heavyweight, went up and fought Cyril Gane. We're like, okay, we've got some guys, right? Like, we might have lost Cyril Gane as a legitimate contender, but we got Jon Jones. That's okay. And we've got Tom Aspinall, who is a prime, even a young for his division, monster, who's got in several fights like less than 10 minutes of cage time. So he's giving the fans the knockouts they want to see, the high energy, the submissions. The submission. He's great on the microphone. You know, Tom Aspinall.
Is there a fighter in MMA or the UFC that you just find absolutely insufferable? Because for me, it's Jon Jones, and there is no close second. Jon Jones defended his heavyweight title against a retired 42-year-old Stipe Miocic back in November. Ever since then, Jon has been saying, what has Tom Aspinall done to deserve to fight me? You know, besides Tom being the interim champ and having a defense with that belt, Jon has just found every possible way to not fight Tom, even...
The fight will never happen. Gun to my head, I would have said Jon Jones will beat him right now. Tom has never been pushed into those championship rounds. That first time you feel that, I gotta get up off that stool after the third round. You needed to fight Tom now, when he doesn't have that experience, especially as Jon Jones.
Is there a fighter in MMA or the UFC that you just find absolutely insufferable? Because for me, it's Jon Jones, and there is no close second. Jon Jones defended his heavyweight title against a retired 42-year-old Stipe Miocic back in November. Ever since then, Jon has been saying, what has Tom Aspinall done to deserve to fight me? You know, besides Tom being the interim champ and having a defense with that belt, Jon has just found every possible way to not fight Tom, even retire